Have you ever wondered why nothing changes? No matter how hard you try. If this resonates, leave a like and a comment so YouTube shows you more content like this. You visualize, you affirm, you take action. But the results just don't stick. That's because no one ever told you the truth Neville Goddard discovered. You don't create with effort, you create with feeling. Your inner state is the engine, not your thoughts, not your plans. Feeling is the force that programs the subconscious, activates belief, and bends reality. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the most powerful shift you can make, from thinking to feeling, from wishing to knowing, from chasing results to becoming the version of you who already lives the wish fulfilled. And once you get this, everything changes, quietly, completely, and fast. Most people wait for the outside world to change so they can finally feel better. But what if it's the other way around? Neville Goddard taught that reality begins from within. Your inner state is the real starting point of creation. He wasn't talking about wishful thinking. He meant deeply feeling the wish fulfilled before it ever shows up. Imagine standing in the life you dream of before it's real. Can you feel the subconscious shift? Can you let faith be more than hope? Can it become certainty? When you assume the feeling of the desire already fulfilled, something strange happens. Your body believes it, and your life begins to follow. He once said, feeling is the secret, not strategy, not hustle, feeling. That magnetic inner state you embody when you believe, not just think, but know your manifestation is inevitable. That's when the unseen forces begin to rearrange the visible. But most people never get past this step. They keep waiting for the proof before the persistence. But life doesn't work like that. Ever noticed how your reality often mirrors your emotions? That's not random. It's a reflection of the state you live in, moment by moment. When you shift how you feel, you shift what you see. Let's make it practical. If you desire financial freedom, don't chase it. Feel the peace of already having it. What would you wear? How would you walk? Who would you call just to celebrate? That version of you already exists, and the more vividly you can imagine it, the faster it comes to life. But I don't know how to feel something that isn't real. Yes, you do. You do it every time you worry. You feel fear before anything bad happens. This is the same mechanism, just flipped. You're not faking it, you're activating it. You're becoming the person who already lives the life they once wished for. And the craziest part? You don't need permission. Not from your boss, your bank, or your past, just your belief. Because once you feel it as real, your reality won't have a choice but to follow. But what if the real power isn't in thinking at all? We've been trained to overthink everything. Make a list, compare outcomes, analyze until we're emotionally numb. But here's the truth Neville revealed. Thinking doesn't create, feeling does. Reality listens to your emotional tone, not your logic. And that changes everything. You could think positive thoughts all day, but if underneath you feel lack, insecurity, or fear, guess what? That's what the subconscious hears. That's what gets mirrored back. The inner state you dwell in becomes the script life follows. Thought is a spark. Feeling is the fire. Ever noticed how a sudden wave of anxiety can derail your whole day, even if nothing bad happened yet? That's the power of feeling. It bypasses the rational mind and sinks into the belief system. If you want to create, you have to feel it into being. Not just think about it, feel it like it's already true. Here's a simple shift. Stop treating visualization like a movie you're watching. Start living it. Don't just see the house. Walk through it in your mind, touch the walls, smell the air, laugh in the kitchen. That's not fantasy. It's the energetic blueprint of manifestation. Imagination is rehearsal for reality. But here's where people sabotage themselves. They feel fear while visualizing success. They wish but don't believe. They hope but don't assume. And the subconscious doesn't respond to maybe. It responds to certainty. So ask yourself, are you thinking or feeling your future? Feeling is magnetic. It pulls people, events, and opportunities to you. It reprograms the unseen forces within. That's why Neville said to persist in the wish fulfilled, even when nothing's changed outside. Because when your inner state changes, reality must follow. It has no choice. Most people think hard work alone will shift their lives, but that's only half the equation. The real breakthrough, learning to generate the feeling first before the result. That's the key to influence your subconscious and awaken dormant possibilities. But there's one moment of the day where this becomes 10x more powerful. There's a brief moment right before sleep when the mind goes quiet. That's not just rest, that's a gateway. Neville called it the most fertile ground for manifestation. In that drowsy twilight, the subconscious is wide open, ready to receive what you impress then. Shapes what comes next. But most people fall asleep replaying what went wrong. Worries, regrets, unfinished conversations, that inner state of lack becomes their blueprint for tomorrow. You see, the feeling you drift off with doesn't disappear. It multiplies, and that's why this moment holds so much power. Here's what changes everything. Instead of letting the mind wander, guide it. Enter sleep with the wish fulfilled. Feel the desire complete, the house already bought, the love already returned, the body already healed. And as your body relaxes, let your belief take over. It's not enough to visualize, you must feel it as real. Not like a fantasy, like a memory, as if it already happened and you're simply remembering the details. That's how you plant it in the subconscious. And when the seed is emotional, the harvest becomes inevitable. Neville didn't guess this. He lived it, and so did thousands who followed his path. They didn't wait for the world to change. They changed their inner state before bed and woke up different. Not instantly, but inevitably, because what you persistently assume, you eventually become. Try this tonight. Lie still. Slow your breath, then drop into the scene of your fulfilled wish, not with effort, but surrender, feeling, not thinking. Let faith carry the emotion until sleep takes you. That state, it's the bridge between your imagination and your reality. And here's the part most people miss. Once you impress the subconscious, don't wake up looking for proof. That's doubt disguised as curiosity. Let go, detach from the how. Because what comes next isn't about control, it's about trust. Here's the part that shakes most people. You have to hold the feeling even when reality screams the opposite. That's where most give up. They want proof before they commit, but faith doesn't wait for evidence, it creates it. You persist in the wish fulfilled, or you surrender to the illusion of lack. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't dig it up the next morning to check if it's growing. You trust the unseen process. The soil isn't silent because nothing's happening. It's silent because creation is unfolding underground. Your subconscious works the same way. But most people plant the seed, then kill it with doubt. One bad day, one missed call, one delay, and they collapse into fear. That emotional spiral becomes their inner state, and that's what gets manifested. Not the desire, the doubt. That's why persistence is everything. Neville used to say, live in the end. Not visit it, live in it, make it your home. Wake up there, fall asleep there. Even when the world disagrees, you don't move. Because you're not reacting to reality, you're creating it from the inside out. Here's something wild. People give up right before it happens. They break the loop, they switch vibrations too soon. But if they had just held the feeling a little longer, reality would have cracked open. This isn't about forcing results. It's about emotional stamina. Let's make it simple. Whatever you want, money, love, healing, choose it emotionally. Then persist in that assumption. Refuse to argue with appearances. Don't explain yourself to doubt. walk in faith, like the version of you who already has it would. And the most ironic part, the moment you stop needing the proof, it shows up. Because the subconscious responds not to desperation, but to certainty. So ask yourself, are you checking for sprouts or watering the soil with your belief? Look around you, not just at what's happening, but how it feels. The world isn't random, it's a mirror. Your reality reflects the emotions, beliefs, and assumptions you hold most consistently. If your inner state is chaos, your world becomes unstable. If it's peace, life softens around you. Neville didn't say this to sound poetic. He meant it literally. Your environment is a projection of your subconscious. People react to you based on the feeling you carry. Opportunities open or close, depending on the assumption you wear. You're not just in the world, you're shaping. It never had a day where everything goes wrong and you say, I knew this would happen. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation of your inner state. What you persistently expect becomes the script of your life, not because of magic, but because of momentum. Manifestation follows mood. You might be doing all the right things, but if deep down you feel unworthy, that feeling will override your actions. It's not what you do, it's who you're being while doing it. The subconscious doesn't listen to effort, it listens to energy. It listens to the inner narrative you replay on loop. And here's the part that stings. If you're waiting for something outside to change how you feel inside, you'll be waiting forever. Detachment begins when you decide to feel now what you thought only the result could give you. That flips the mirror. That's when life begins to reflect a new you. Try this. When something triggers you today, pause. Instead of reacting, ask, what is this reflecting back to me? Is it an old belief, a hidden fear, a broken assumption? Heal it inside, and the outer will shift. Don't chase change, become the change. Your reality has no choice but to follow. The outer world is the echo, the inner state is the voice. And when you stop speaking, lack into your subconscious, the echo starts to change. But wait, what if you could design that echo in advance, through imagination? Let's break one of the biggest lies you were taught, that imagination is for children. Wrong. Your imagination is your most powerful tool. It's the workshop where reality is built. Neville didn't call it a fantasy, he called it truth in its first form, the invisible blueprint of manifestation. Most people use imagination backwards. They visualize worst-case scenarios. They imagine rejection, failure, disappointment, and guess what? The subconscious doesn't filter. It just obeys. It takes your feeling, good or bad, and turns it into experience. That's why you must become a conscious creator. What if, instead of picturing what you fear, you immersed yourself in what you desire? Not just saw it, but felt it. The laughter in that dream relationship, the freedom in that career leap, the confidence in your healed body. That's how you make the wish fulfilled feel familiar. Imagination isn't daydreaming, it's rehearsal, it's spiritual conditioning. When you persist in the same scene over and over with the same inner state, the subconscious begins to accept it as fact, and life starts aligning. The people, the places, the timing, all fall into place. Here's something wild. Your body can't tell the difference between a vividly imagined event and a real one. That means your emotional response is real. So your beliefs shift. So your actions change. So your world bends. You're not pretending. You're programming your identity. Try this. Every morning, before the world pulls you into its noise, close your eyes and imagine your ideal day. Not just the schedule, the feeling, the flow, the freedom, the ease. Let that become your inner state, and watch how your day bends to match it. Imagination is the seed. Feeling is the water. Faith is the sunlight. You don't need to know how it will grow. Just keep nurturing it in the workshop of your mind. But what if you didn't need to see it anymore to believe it? Here's a paradox that breaks most minds. The moment you stop needing your desire, it starts moving toward you. That's detachment. Not giving up, not pretending you don't care, but no longer letting appearances control your inner state. It's emotional freedom, and it's magnetic. Neville wasn't saying to ignore reality. He was saying to stop being defined by it. Your bank account isn't your worth. That unanswered message isn't rejection. The delay isn't denial. What you see is old news, a reflection of past assumptions. If you react, you reinforce it. Detachment is power. It's choosing to feel wealthy while your card declines. It's smiling with faith when doors close. It's trusting the subconscious to keep building even when the evidence is missing. It's saying, I know who I am, and not budging from that inner state. Here's what most miss. When you cling to appearances, you tell the subconscious it's in control. That creates fear, scarcity, doubt. But when you detach, you flip the dynamic. Now, your imagination leads and reality becomes the follower. That's how creators think. Try this. Next time something doesn't go your way, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, is this worth abandoning my inner state for? Most of the time, the answer is no. Let the storm pass. You're not here to react, you're here to create from a deeper truth. Detachment doesn't mean coldness, it means calm, a quiet certainty, a grounded belief in the unseen forces moving. For you, it's walking through chaos with a still heart. It's smiling when nothing's working yet because you know it's already done on the inside. And here's where it all shifts. When you stop checking, stop chasing, stop controlling, manifestation speeds up. You become the person who already has it, and that's when it comes. But if that's true, what does it really mean to believe? Let's get this straight. Faith is not wishful thinking. It's not hoping something might happen. It's knowing deep in your bones that it already has. That's why Neville said, faith is loyalty to the unseen reality. You don't beg for what you already possess, you assume it. Most people treat faith like a lottery ticket. Maybe it'll work. But real creation doesn't respond to hesitation. The subconscious needs certainty, and certainty is felt. When you walk in faith, you carry the feeling of the outcome before it appears, and that feeling becomes the cause. Faith isn't blind, it's emotionally intelligent. It knows that the unseen forces are always responding to your inner state. And when you shift into the wish fulfilled, something inside settles. You stop searching, you stop waiting. You start living from it instead of chasing after it. Try this. Think of something you want right now, then ask, if I knew it was already mine, how would I act today? What would I wear? How would I talk to people? What would I stop worrying about? That's not delusion. That's alignment. That's faith in motion. Neville didn't say to just think positive. He said to embody the outcome. Faith means making decisions from the identity of someone who's already there. You don't ask for permission. You don't look for signs. You move with persistence because you know it's done. The reason most people feel stuck is because their faith is conditional. They believe when they see. But creation flips that. You see because you believe. The subconscious builds what you accept as real. So the question is, what have you been unknowingly accepting? And here's the final twist. Once you fully believe, you no longer need to obsess. Detachment naturally follows. The feeling becomes familiar. Reality bends. And that's when everything you've imagined begins to appear. Quietly, consistently, unmistakably. But how do you make sure it lasts? So now you know, feeling is the secret. Not someday, not maybe, now. Because if your inner state stays the same, nothing on the outside will ever really change. What belief do you need to let go of today? What would happen if you stopped chasing and started assuming it's already yours? This isn't about techniques. This is about identity. Who are you becoming every time you close your eyes and feel your wish fulfilled? Start tonight. Choose the feeling, persist in it, and trust the subconscious to do what it does best, create. If this video sparked something in you, share it with someone who needs this message right now. And activate the bell so YouTube knows you want to keep diving deeper into this truth. If this video gave you new insight into how your reality is created, don't stop here. Click here and come with me to the next step. It's a shift you can't unsee. I promise you'll never think the same way again. Let's go.